Hello everyone, my name is Chacho and I want to tell you guys the plans that I've been having last week and what I've been doing. I've been going to a couple of card shops and collecting myself more Pokemon cards to add to my collection. And I also went to go see the Super Mario Galaxy movie last Friday. I want to talk about both, but for this video, I'm going to be dedicating that time to talk about the Super Mario Galaxy movie and how I personally felt about it. So let's get straight to it. So the movie came out on April 1st, which was on Wednesday, but I wasn't able to go that day because I had work. So I waited until Friday, April 3rd. My sister joined me to watch the movie, so thank you for that. I ordered 2 tickets that day, got some snacks like popcorn, a large icy, and then I asked the question if they had any of the movie merchandising that they were selling, like any of the buckets and stuff like that. And all they had left was the Yoshi bucket, which I managed to get one, so that was pretty cool. So it comes with this little compartment in here where you can store all your popcorn, but for me, I'll have to see what I want to use it for. But this thing is pretty well detailed for a popcorn bucket. I will admit it was pretty expensive. It was around $50. I did this because I wanted to add a bit more to the Mario movie experience. So for this part, there will be spoilers, so you have been warned. I will give y'all about 3 more seconds if y'all don't want to be spoiled, or to leave the video if you don't want spoilers. 3, 2, 1, here we go. My overall take is it was a fun movie to watch. I personally had a good time watching it, so I personally wasn't sure why a lot of negative feedback was going around for this movie other than the critics. Which, who actually takes their opinion? But then actually trying to sit there and listen to what they had to say, part of it unfortunately made sense to me. And I will say this, for the most part, my opinion doesn't really change. For the most part, I loved it. But I will admit, it was not a perfect movie. So here are my personal pros and cons to the movie. Let's start with the pros first. So the movie, of course, like they did in the last one, it had a bunch of references to their games. There was a couple of cameos in there too, obviously the one that for some reason got leaked a week early, like Fox McCloud. During the scene where Bowser and Bowser Jr. were fighting, when Bowser already got burned and came back as Dry Bowser, Luigi with Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush was able to create Mr. Game & Watch. That one caught me off guard, but it was sick to see him absolutely destroy Bowser at one point, but then the second later he absolutely gets obliterated by Bowser. I personally really like that fighting scene, but I will say it was a little too fast. Being able to see the characters get into the star boost thingies that launches them into space was a pretty nice reference. The battle scene at the very beginning when Bowser Jr. was going against Luigi, Mario, and Yoshi, all that scene was amazing. The way they were connecting with Bowser at the start when he was still small, it was pretty funny. For some reason, he kept trying to rage bait Mario the most. And you can tell Mario was not having it, and he was just trying to be the bigger person and just be like, you know what, I ain't gonna listen to you. Until he gets insulted, stepped on, and instead of killing Bowser, instead that makes him go back to regular size, and Mario was pretty much about to get cooked. Until for some reason, Bowser literally smooched Mario in the cheek. I have no idea why. Everyone else in my movie theater kept laughing, but I was just still thinking, did that actually just happen? I did laugh, of course, but again, I just completely was not expecting that at all. If that wasn't a reference to Super Mario RPG, then I have no idea what that would have been. There was a lot of fight scenes and they were honestly pretty cool to watch. They also included Rob in the movie too, which basically he was just there to illustrate Peach and Toad where to go next to a certain galaxy that they were needing to go to save Rosalina. I feel like they copied the sloth joke from Zootopia, because that's basically what Rob was for. He was just slowly moving and they just copied the idea, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Seeing Fox in the movie, at first when I saw him, for the first few minutes, I really thought, what is the point of this? As cool as it is, it just doesn't make sense for him to be in this movie. But just seeing what he did to help Mario and them, it kind of fit in well. I'm surprised they even managed to think of what he could serve a purpose for in that movie. Overall, the fighting scenes, the animation, and just seeing how much more the characters appeared in this movie, especially Luigi, was just awesome. I am so happy that he was finally able to be more in the movie, because in the last one, he didn't really appear much. He was only there for most of the beginning and the ending. In the middle, he was just somewhat there, but it was mostly heavily focused on Mario, Peach, Donkey Kong, and Bowser, as well as Toad. I'm glad they finally listened to the complaints and just gave Luigi the justice he deserves for this movie. And in something else that the movie, I guess, confirmed, or they just made up for this movie, apparently Peach and Rosalina are now siblings. I'm sorry, what? I'm not against the idea, but again, just extremely random and sudden. At least to me it was. Now here comes the cons, which, oh no. Why was everything going so fast during the second half of the movie? It felt rushed, the way it was written. The characters' dialogues during the first half of the movie, it was fine. It was going at a decent pace. But then the second half, I feel like they were just focusing a little too much on the fighting scenes, which, as cool as it was, I feel like it was a little too much going on. Like, for example, after a few minutes within the movie, Peach and Toad goes out to another galaxy to go find Rosalina and try to save her. Meanwhile, Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi stay in the castle to protect the castle for Peach. But then when Bowser Jr. tries to fight them three, the castle goes up, and instead of Mario and Luigi explaining to Peach what happened within on time when they met at that one specific galaxy, they just forget, go on with the adventure, and then at the very end of the movie, that's when they're like, what happened to the castle after Luma mentioned that they wanted to go visit? Why is that? And I felt like they used the excuse to put in more nostalgia and have like the sequence of them building the castle be within a few minutes. But it was like a montage of them doing it, but in the Mario World graphic look. It's a nice little detail, but this part felt extremely rushed. Second thing, I know the movies are not going to exactly follow their counterparts like they do in the games, because I know in the Sonic movies they changed a couple of things and tweaked out some things, so I'm not surprised that they did that here in the movie, because they did that same thing in the first one. But here's my question that people were saying, and I also thought this exact same thing. Why did Rosalina get Luigi's treatment from the last movie, which is basically barely appear at all? Yet Fox McCloud, that's not even a Mario character, managed to appear more in this movie than Rosalina. The only scene where she really got to shine was at the very beginning when she was fighting this one robot boss from Mario Galaxy. That's it. But then she got scared and tried to save one of her Lumas, but then the robot manages to catch her off guard and basically just trap her for most of the movie. And then turns out Bowser Jr. was the one inside the robot. So they listened to the complaints of Luigi not appearing enough last movie, and so they fixed that here. So why didn't they think to not repeat that same mistake but for Rosalina? You think they would have listened. And then this isn't necessarily a pro or a con, I just thought this was awkward. Mario was starting to develop feelings for Peach, right? And that's not, surprising or anything. But why was bro fumbling so hard in this movie? Luigi was being such a supportive brother in this movie and just trying to get him to become more confident and try to, ask Peach out, or at least, get them to talk more for their friendship or even maybe begin a relationship at some point. But in the scene where they met up again, where Fox McCloud was, Peach was gonna give Mario a hug, and you would have thought, okay, Mario, you think to yourself, okay, that means I get to hug her too. Bro straight up just tried to go for a handshake. A handshake. I get he's trying to be formal and, a gentleman, but brother, she's offering you a hug. Take it. What are you doing? I cringed so hard in this part. This could have been his chance to get a future wife. Even Luigi and Yoshi looked a little disappointed at him. So yeah, I will say, story-wise, they could have done better. I felt like they kind of rushed into it a little too fast. I'm still low-key surprised that they went to doing a Galaxy quote-unquote sequel like this fast instead of doing something like Super Mario World or something like that. Because my question is, how are they gonna do it next movie? What is it gonna be next? The Super Mario Odyssey movie? If so, then I hope they don't mess it up, because I personally love Super Mario Odyssey, even though they made a couple of references there. Because at the beginning of the movie, Mario and Luigi were driving in their bikes. They found Yoshi in that upside down pyramid that you go into in one of the levels in Super Mario Odyssey. Honestly, that's such an odd place to find Yoshi at, to be quite honest with you guys. But anyways, it ended with them building the castle, and then basically Peach does the iconic kissing Mario on the cheek, I think it was. And Mario basically became happy. He started flying with his cape and put the flag on top of the finished castle, and basically the movie's over. So yeah, I could keep going on for quite a minute, but there's honestly too much to talk about here, and I don't want to drag on the video for too long. So the final thing I will add is, at the very end of the movie, after a bit of the end credits, they showed Bowser and Bowser Jr. in jail, and their prisoner guard is literally that light blue Luma that didn't have the most positive things to say. And so basically they were mentally scarred for life. I can't lie, at first I kind of thought Wario was going to be the cop, but seeing the star there, I guess it was more fitting towards the title of the movie. But at the very, very end of the movie, after all the staff credits ended, which unfortunately I didn't see this in person, but I had to see it off of a YouTube video. Apparently in that galaxy where Peach and Toad were talking to Rob, apparently Daisy appears. Freaking Daisy? Now, Luigi better not fumble to get that girl in the movie. I hope he does better than his older brother. So yeah, there's a lot more to talk about for this movie, but those are just my overall thoughts. I just wanted to make this a pretty quick video. I didn't want to drag it out for too long because knowing me, I'll probably end up talking about mostly what happened in the movie than to give out my actual thoughts on how I felt about watching it. So overall, I will say it was a fun movie, but if they make another Mario movie, I hope they can structure better the story than just giving us cool animation, cutscenes, and just characters doing goofy things. Because for that part, 10 out of 10, they did good. But for the story, it was kind of mixed all over the place. So for story-wise, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. So overall, this movie, I will give it a solid 7 out of 10. It was still fun to watch for me because again, I'm a huge Mario fan. So what do you guys think? Did y'all enjoy the movie like I did, or did y'all wish it was better? Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments down below. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. It'll be much appreciated so if you do. Check out the playlist here for previous videos. Thank y'all and have a good one.